Hello everyone, Cleric here again. A topic that's been kind of been in my mind a little bit here as far as something I wanted to discuss, kind of go over and kind of maybe explain or maybe help some people in playing Armored Core 6. Now, this isn't just Armored Core 6 specifically. This actually could be considered almost to Armored Core across the board in all of its series as an entirety. But in all reality, there's a lot of things throughout the years that have always existed that people... It's a mentality and an approach problem. So Armored Core has its competitive parts. So obviously you have the PvP section where there's going to be PvP. There's going to be people trying to find out what's the best possible options. Look, we've been doing that for years throughout the different games. We know what parts are the best. That's not nothing or anything new, I should say. It exists in all games, let alone Armored Core. Armored Core is no exception. That being said, the meta, as people are so concerned about, in all honesty, are ruining your games. Now people say, well, yeah, of course they're ruining my games, they're too good. No, that's not what I mean. Yeah, that's not to say Zimmermans don't need adjusted. It's not to say ranges of weapons that are causing missiles to be what they are don't need adjusted. I'm not saying things don't need balanced. My problem is games that are designed around PvP completely, which by the way, From Software said multiple times that this game was meant to be single player with a PvP portion. But even games that are solely focused on PvP don't get balanced right most of the time. In fact, they don't get balanced right for multiple patches, and even after multiple patches, the balance still is not right. So people were so concerned about the balance or the meta or their options. Honestly, they're just kind of ruining the experience for themselves in most cases. And I think it almost gets exasperated in Armored Core because Armored Core is not meant for that mentality, I feel like. Now look, I realize there are some people out there who just have to win. They have to be the best. They have to do what's best. They have to use what's best in order to win as much as possible. Look, if you are of that competitive bent, by all means, turn this video off and go somewhere else. Although maybe you shouldn't, because maybe you're finding out what's best for the whole may actually not be best for you. Which is where I was going to come in at. So Armored Core has always had metas. There's always been what was the best kind of builds or what was the best parts to use. That's always kind of existed. But I can tell you the niche of Armored Core actually kind of lends itself to a different variety of builds. And that variety of builds due to a variety of parts and a variety of play styles. To give you an idea, there were certain things that often got banned in tournaments because they're considered too strong in general. But when that was gone, you saw a wide variety of build options. You saw people who played different play styles. You had your quads running around with grenade launchers. You had your heavy bipeds running around with bazookas. You had your uber lightweights running around with missiles and blades. And you had those things. But Armored Core right now, because there's been so many of these videos, man. I was talking to someone about this the other day. There's so many videos now out on YouTube that this is the meta breaker. This busts the meta. Own your friends in PvP now. Like I realize this is a new experience for me as someone who's been, doing Armored Core stuff for so long, been around since the game's demo disc back in '97 or whatever. I understand, like, there's going to be people who have, I mean, there's the clickbait nature. There's the content nature. There's the make money on YouTube ads nature. I've tried to kind of stay away from that as a whole. I've generally tried to be helpful with my videos, which has always been kind of my intention. I want my videos to be helpful to people, helpful to new players, helpful to players who have been veterans of the series, but maybe I have gotten out of it for a while or getting just back into it because Armored Core 6. I want my channel to be, generally speaking, pretty positive and kind of in a direction to kind of lead towards people to enjoying the game more. And that's what this video is too. So that's why I was trying my best not to really knock on the uber competitive people online. With that being said, I feel like those people and those who aren't those people, or those who just wish they were winning more often in PvP, you might be ruining your own experience with Armored Core 6. As I was alluding to earlier with the different kinds of builds and varieties of playstyles, it's not about the meta for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it's about finding a way that works for you. Maybe you're not meant to run dual Zimmermans with assault boosting. Maybe you're not meant to do the runaway missile boats. Look, I wouldn't play those builds, not because they're not because they're meta, and I don't like using meta, though. And honestly, I don't like using the most overpowered parts in general. That's never really been my bent in general. But it's more, they don't fit my playstyle. I've never been the gung-ho overboost in shotgun in your face person. I've never been the shoot a bunch of missiles and run away person. I've always been the heavy biped with big heavy weapons and gotten people's face with big heavy explosions. That's always been more my thing and hasn't really changed even in this game now. So you have all that happening. You need to find in the game that you find fun. Find a build, find a set of parts, find a playstyle that you just straight up enjoy. Find something you just like, and then whether you win or lose, obviously winning being a plus, you'll just have more fun with the game. Now, that's not to say, you know, that you shouldn't try to win, because you should. Part of the competitive portion is trying to win. But if you make it all about winning, you're missing out on a huge experience of Armored Core. Armored Core is literally about variety. All the different build options, all the different parts you have between different weapons and FCSs and leg types. Look, there's so many cool things you can do in this game beyond just what everyone says the meta is, and that's what you have to run or you're a loser, which, by the way, is one of the worst mentalities ever. I understand the concept of getting good, and I think, you know what, you should put some genuine effort into the game and try to get better at it. But the people who try to gatekeep the fun behind this meta wall is just ridiculous. Look, I don't run meta builds, and I win more often than I lose. Now, I realize I've been playing the game for a long time. I had a lot of hours into it. It's not some peak of my skill I'm trying to claim I have. Look, I've never once claimed to be the best at Armored Core. I've always been one of the better ones, but never claimed to be the best. And it's just, but I've always found a way to just have fun with the game, even when winning or losing, just because I enjoy the builds I use. What I'm trying to say here is just experiment. Try a bunch of different weapons. Try different build types. Try different leg types. Try different play styles. Just try a variety of things. Find something that you just enjoy using and just stick with it. And just go have fun. Look, it means some of these videos, I'm even finding myself, unfortunately, right now, getting kind of trapped in this mentality where I'm kind of bored of seeing the meta, and I'm very bored of seeing missile boats. I'm very bored of seeing dual Zimmermans. It is getting very old very quickly. But that being said, I'm still winning against those people, really weird builds, and it's kind of fun when that happens. It's like, well, I guess my funky build beats your meta build, but you have so much of this going on in the game where you're just unnecessarily putting undue pressure and stress on yourself to be the top end, when really you should be finding just things you like to use and just use them and enjoy the game. Seriously, just trying to, the best example I can give you is this. I'll put a link in the description video below. I don't know this person at all. I saw his videos a few weeks ago. There's a video by a creator going over a Smash Melee player called Amsa. Now, Amsa is a Super Smash Bros. Melee player for the GameCube, and he's from Japan, and he's very unique in the sense that he's considered one of the best Melee players ever to play the game, yet he uses a character that everyone says is terrible. In fact, we started using him, look at all the tier character lists, everyone says, he uses Yoshi, and everyone says Yoshi was the second worst character in the game. And this man single-handedly moved him up to the top 10. One guy. He is now, I think he got ranked second one year for all Melee players, and he was the only Yoshi in the top 100. And he kept saying, Yoshi's not that bad of a character. I feel like Yoshi's a really good character. You just have to learn how to play him. And this dude just loved playing Yoshi. He just wanted to play Yoshi. And everyone told him, you're holding yourself back. You're making your job harder. You're never going to win. You're never going to do better. You're never going to come on top. You're never going to do anything major because you're stuck using a really terrible character in this game. You won't go anywhere with it. And the guy actually ends up winning what is called the most stacked Melee tournament of all time. They said there were just so many top players and so many killers from Smash Melee in that tournament, and he ends up winning the whole thing with Yoshi. I'll put the video description, I'll put the video link in the description below. You guys can go watch that thing. I guess I'm sending views to that guy, but whatever. I want you guys to watch it. It's like 56 minutes long. Explains this guy's history. It does a deep breakdown of Yoshi's gameplay mechanics, which I think is also really cool, and explains his tournament runs and things he had. You have all these things, and I think it exemplifies that same mentality I think people need to approach this game with. Go into the game and find something that you just enjoy playing and stick with it. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself a bunch, but there's a reason I'm repeating myself a bunch. When you learn when it comes to instruction or teaching, repetition is the key to learning. And I'm trying to ingrain into your head that the meta doesn't matter. The top end parts don't matter when it comes to your ability to enjoy this game. Now, if you're going to the uber competitive tournaments, and as you can see, people are already doing a lot of bans or adjustments to kind of fix that problem for you, stop worrying about it. Stop looking at it. Stop watching these ridiculous, this breaks the meta build videos. There are a dime a dozen, and most of them are wrong anyways. Seriously. Experiment, 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 experiment. You'll go from having a rage face to a smiling face if you find something that you build that you just enjoy playing and go have fun. Now, let's say you do all of that, you find your perfect build, you find the build you really like, you have 2 or 3 things you love using, and you still find yourself just not having a good time because you're so sick yourself. Now that you found something you'd like playing, you're going into random PvP matches online, and you're still seeing nothing but missile boats and Zimmermans. Look. Find a good group of people to play with. I'm going to plug it right now because why not? My Discord. The link has been in almost every description of almost all my videos. Join the Discord. There's so many people in there who love PvP in this game. Almost none of them use uber meta parts. Honestly, they just like to have a good time and goof off and have fun. And that's not to say they aren't good. We actually have a lot of really good players in our Discord. In fact, we have quite a few people in our Discord who have been either tournament winners in other Armored Core 6 tournaments or have placed in the top 8 consistently. And they're also not using the uber meta builds while placing in the top 8 or winning consistently. So I got to tell you, come join our Discord, get to know the people there, join in the random 3v3 or 1v1 lobbies we have once in a while, and I guarantee you'll have a good old time hanging out and just seeing a group of people who aren't toxic and just enjoy a positive spirit and just enjoy playing the game. If that's something you want to experience in this game, that's the place to have it done. That's it. Soapbox gone. I'll put my soapbox away now. As an update, don't forget the tournament is upcoming here this upcoming Saturday. Is the no missile tournament. You have to submit your builds. So if you've already signed up for the tournament on Start GG and join the Discord, you still have to submit your builds via that form. You have until registration deadline at 10 p.m. Central on that Friday before, so in a couple days here. So you need to make sure you get that deadline that's submitted in if you want to join it. Oh, it's a max 64 participants. If you want to join, feel free to go ahead and join in. Should be a lot of time. So there is no missiles. So guess what? No missile boats. I know a lot of people are concerned about having nothing but Zimmerman quads, but you might be surprised what you find. Some people have some pretty interesting ideas we've seen submitted so far that actually I feel like could work. So if you want to see a wide variety, it'll be me and Zealous commentating on the tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys a wide variety of videos. So, do you want more Armored Core motivational speaking, as I'm going to call it? Do you want more soapbox talks from me? Like, subscribe, get in the comments, give me your suggestions. Do you want me to wax eloquent about Armored Core some more and give some more advice? Let me know. Otherwise, you can become a member to support the channel. Do it if you want to. It's your money, do what you want. I'm not going to make you or push you to do it. I will highly recommend joining the Discord, though. They are a good group of people. Completely devoid of me. Honestly, I'm not even around half the time. They completely do the things on their own, and they are great to hang out with. So until then, I will see you in the next video.